Hi folks, how you doing? Well, this is Miguel from the Embargo Man. Now we're talking about Nabisco products made outside the US, right? One thing of this news, this is so crazy that I went to the supermarket at a Publix. I did just find out that there is going on something in Chicago about downsizing at Chicago Nabisco plant draws political spotlight. Right? It says, with Illinois' primary less than 2 weeks away, a bakery on Chicago's southwest side has become an issue in the race for the White House. Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders' campaign are speaking out against the plans that send jobs at Nabisco plant workers in Mexico will lay off notice handed out soon. The Nabisco plant has been there since the 1950s. Michael Smith got a job at the Nabisco plant 5 years ago, and he says he's always had dreams of working for a great American company, but it will lose jobs in the first word layoff. 227 arrived on March 21st. I'm 50 years old. Imagine this crap. I think, and then they were cutting off 600 workers, but this is just another report from a Chicago TV station. It is Mondelez International owns the company that makes the American classic snack Oreo and Chips Ahoy instead of spending $130 million to upgrade the company's largest U.S. bakery. Mondelez is chipping some of its Chicago jobs to its Mexico plant. Well, they're planning to make a Mexico plant, and then I was saying, look, they don't just make Oreo cookies. They make Nabisco animal crackers. I love those things, and Teddy Grahams and all that stuff. Sure, they did sell not just Mexico, but they sell Nabisco products that are made in Canada here in the U.S. So this is up, folks. This is how it is. This is you just blame about what the FTA or NAFTA, as you may call it. There's a speaker. You just have a home theater speaker in there. Or NAFTA, or as you might call it, that it was the guilt of the people, of the corporations, and all this mambo jumbo that's going on in here. For example, why buying some foreign products, or made by American companies? All right, your cars, if you have purchased them, are made in Canada or Mexico. And guess what? They were the ones, the big U.S. corporations were the ones to just flow in with Japanese stuff, right? Back in the day. And they just flow in with all stuff from other countries. Now we have stuff from China, stuff from Taiwan, stuff from Vietnam now. Like, I guess so. I guess what it is about this company Nabisco or Menendez, it was just passing on to first it was independent. It's called the National Biscuit Company or something like that, right? And they have Christie, the Canadian division. Most likely what you buy right now, if you have any Nabisco product that is made in Canada, your Oreo cookies that are made in Canada, that came from the Christie factory, and they put the Nabisco name in it just to sell it in the United States. Well, how tricky is that, Menendez, who owns now Christie, the Canadian division of Nabisco, what else? Your Ritz crackers. I have seen other Nabisco products made in Mexico, and gosh, I'm just saying, what do you look for, MS or MM? Yeah, those are like, and this is made in Mexico. What the hell? All right. At least they're not going to China. Most likely you're better safe than sorry. Mexican products, they're safe. Canadian confectioneries are safe too. It's like that. It is crazy. Like Lindt or some that are from Switzerland, and what else? What else? What other one? Other European confectioneries or confectioneries from other countries. They're making their stuff here. Same thing with their cars. I mean, this is kind of crazy. Foreign companies giving jobs to America, and American companies are giving jobs to other countries. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. It happens like this with confectionery, and then I mean, I don't mind about foreign products in another country not supporting their national industry. And I write their national industry, right? It is like people like supposed to be, oh yeah, I'm supporting, I'm supporting the U.S. industry, that makes stuff. And unfortunately, whoever's keeping up with the American industry of making products in the United States of America would be foreign companies, right? Foreign companies has been given jobs. It's like, what the heck, like Volkswagen from Germany opened up an auto plant in Tennessee, right? How many people have been hiring? Now, Ford, on the other hand, are planning to go to Mexico, but that's just one thing in. But now let's go to focus with Nabisco and Mondelez International. It's just a spin-off of Kraft, because after it went from independent, they sold to Philip Morris Reynolds, R.J. Reynolds. Then they sold it to Kraft, and then they come to Menendez. They sold the whole thing, and it's just another spin-off of Kraft, as they have, and they still have. They have, before the Menendez, they have Nabisco products made overseas. I tried Nabisco cookies that are made in Canada. I tried Nabisco, cookies, or Oreo cookies that are made in Mexico. What is the difference, right? The difference is, the Canadian the Canadian ones that are sold here, the U.S. Oreo cookies that are produced in Canada under the Christie division. They just make it under the Christie division. They package it over there, and they put Nabisco, and they sell it right here in the U.S. Right? Same thing with animal crackers, Ritz. I don't know, but most likely the one that I've tried of Oreo cookies made outside the U.S. are the Canadian ones. And there's Mexican ones too, right? Point about that. But this is something like, what the heck? I think they're not moving in the South. I think, do they have in Texas or in North Carolina, South Carolina, non-union states, southern states, might have a factory in Tennessee, right? Just to make point for sure, if the Chicago plant is closed and they're sending their jobs to Mexico, then you have the factories in the southern states, and then there's no union, and then it's like the southern states are cheaper than Chicago, then New Jersey, then New York, right? They're not in danger, But this is the Chicago one, and then you have one in Canada, like the Christie division, like they make all most likely the Oreo cookies in Canada to sell it in the U.S. package it, and put the Nabisco name in it, and boom, sell it, and then it's sold here in the U.S. Made by Christie, put Nabisco brand, and sells it in the U.S. That's what happened. But that's what we don't want. Is true. We don't want any foreign products made by U.S. company, either Mexico or Canada, vice versa. Same thing with Nabisco. If we're getting Oreo cookies from the Christie factory, most likely sooner or later, as just we're going beyond Mexico. Look, I tried Oreo cookies in South America. They make them in Brazil and they make them in Peru. Yeah, they have a factory in Peru and they have a factory in Brazil. You know, like I was in Colombia. It doesn't taste the same. Yeah, most likely this is not China. They're not going to China. Don't worry about it. I understand they're not going to China. At least Mexico is safer than China. You know, Mexico has better food regulations than China. Guess what? It is safer to buy a cookie or candy from Mexico than consume candy from China that might be toxic, right? You know, same thing with toothpaste. That's true. Colgate never bring their toothpaste from China. They're bringing their toothpaste from Mexico, and it's safer than China. But for real, and let me guess what, there's just plenty of cases of products made outside their country of origin. Or just like an example, let's put it for example, not everything made outside the US or could be bad, or outside the country where the consume could be bad. And just put it for example, back in the 1980s, the auto industry, when South Korea made garbage, what would they do? What would they do with this thing of not selling Japan branded products in South Korea? What would they do? What would they do besides buying their homemade garbage back in the day? All they did is they buy a Ford Laser over or over a Hyundai Sonata from back in the day, or a Hyundai from back in the day, because back in the 80s those cars were homemade garbage. Ford, on the other hand, or Mazda, says, oh, what the fuck, we need to put, excuse my language, we need to put Ford just to sell that car in Korea. Oh shit, all they do, and the people in Mazda, they just put the Ford logo on a Mazda car just to ship that car to sell it in South Korea, because nobody's gonna buy their homemade garbage. And that's how just talking about that, just that's how it is. But before all that, I'm gonna take that to another video. It's gonna show pictures of all the products they sell in Korea. They sell it under an American name or some Korean name. Later on, like that, like the Sega Genesis sold under a Samsung Genie. We know how it is, right? Then we know that this thing about about the cookies or the Nabisco products being made outside the U.S., especially they focus more on Mexico, but they don't see that there is Christie from Canada selling Nabisco products in the U.S. They're selling, they just same thing what they do in Mazda back in the day when they sold their products to Korea and they put the Ford label. Same thing happens. Christie makes their products over there in Canada. they just put the packages and they just, oh well, let's go into the U.S. Let's put Nabisco. Boom! They sell it right here in the USA. Bada bing, bada boom. You know, bang bang, thank you ma'am. Send it to the U.S. It's Nabisco, made in Canada by the Christie division, right? Because Christie division is part of Nabisco, right? Then this is what will happen. So I guess, you know, you people in Chicago watching this, you're right. You're right. You're losing your jobs. You're losing your jobs not just to Mexico, because they said they're gonna go in somewhere in I said the plant in Mexico would be somewhere in what, around there, around close to Tijuana, you know, a Mexican plant in around there, you know. As they say something moving to Mexico or something, but then don't worry about that. It's not just Mexico, but Canada. You know, maybe you might see some of the future, some Ritz crackers made coming out of the Christie division factory in Canada, and they sell it under the Nabisco name, and you're gonna be all messed up, or like, what the heck, we're buying crackers from Canada, cookies from Canada, or cookies from Mexico, not just Oreo, Chips Ahoy. I've seen some Chips Ahoy made in Mexico. I tried ones that are made in Canada. And then what's going on? Nothing's going to be made in the US. Then I guess this is gonna be like something very, very tough, very hard. Maybe that other confectionery companies from Europe and probably from Japan might just create jobs somewhere in Illinois, most likely in the South, you know, because like in North Carolina, South Carolina, you might be lucky going all the way down to South Carolina, to Georgia, to Tennessee, to Alabama, to southern states. You know, I live in Florida, but yeah, I'm talking about this. The most likely, this is Miami. This is just like almost likely the Yahoo states or the Yeehaw states. You know, where Nabisco will have their factories, and then going south all the way, like there's more chances to go and work for a Nabisco factory, for example, in Tennessee or in South Carolina or North Carolina, because they're safe, while Chicago's all screwed up. They're already closing in New Jersey, and probably somewhere in New York, probably in Massachusetts, because northern states are too expensive, union and all that stuff. Then non-unionized factories, that's how they look. They want to like cut off the unions, and then they look to Mexico, they look to the southern states where there's no unions involved, or unions are weak, so they just say, screw the unions, let's work out without union, let's work non-union labor. And then those factories, those non-union southern state factories, are lucky to have their jobs in, because they don't have no pay, no union contracts or something like that, and do whatever they can, right? Most likely another area is Texas. There's jobs in Texas that might open, or they have a factory in Texas from Nabisco. Well, you know, if most likely going from Chicago, Illinois to Texas, then you're gonna still make the cookies, or you're gonna still make other Nabisco products. Other than that, you know, you're still gonna have your fair share of the Chicago factory, all your fair share of Ritz crackers from Canada or other products from Canada out of the Christie division line, label it with the Nabisco to sell it in the US, and then some cookies and even animal crackers or Teddy Grahams from Canada and Mexico, and then even I seen some Ritz crackers from Mexico. And then what is he gonna do? If it's not China, don't worry about it. Mexico is safe. They have better food conditions. They're better than China's. At least Nabisco don't have bringing food from China, and then we're gonna have there's lawsuits against Nabisco, Mondelez, because they're having Oreo cookies from China. No. Most likely, unluckily, the off-brands or the knockoffs or the store brands, they still make their cookies in the USA. Don't worry about it. So that's how you're gonna do, and it's just not to go in front of Canadian-made Oreo cookies or Canadian-made Ritz crackers or Mexican-made Nabisco products. They go in that and they save some money. They keep American jobs by buying these off-brands. Same thing happens. But other than that, stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the red subscribe button right there. I think this would be off with the Nabisco products made outside the U.S. Don't worry about it. They're not going to China, but I do agree with this. I just happen with the exception of the Korean crappy products from back in the day, like with their cars, why they're buying that. But then that's in the next video. But later on, what we want to know is that stay tuned, hold on, and I think for you guys are going to be better off. I hope they go into, hope you go into a southern states where there's no unions involved in an Nabisco factory around North Carolina or around Oklahoma area, the South, in other words, non-union South, where is no unions involved and non-union made in the U.S. because they're going to be made non-union made. But other than that, just be careful. Be aware in the supermarkets. If you've seen some of the products you're made are being bought from the Christie factory in Canada, or they're being from the new Nabisco factory in Mexico, well, just make sure and just enjoy life and just keep on hanging. And I hope for that you've seen a foreign factory, probably some Japanese confectionery company might make some Pockies in Chicago, where some factory that they ship their production to Mexico just to make Pockies or Glico, or some European confectionery company putting on to make Lindt chocolates or Godiva chocolates in the United States that is from Switzerland or from Belgium. Stay tuned. So stay tuned for my next video. And goodbye, people. Enjoy your job, your future job in the South, or your future job working or making candy or confectionaries for a European company or a Japanese company. Bye.